Hello and welcome to my second video based on Formula One Constructors Association yearbook 1987, which tells the story of the 1986 Formula One Grand Prix season. I've had this book since, I think, Christmas 1986. My first video, I noticed for the first time, perhaps it had only just happened, that the spine was basically not attached to the rest of the book anymore, or only just. But since in the last day or two, I have stuck it basically with super glue. So that should hold it for another 40 years, hopefully. I had that happen to another recent book of mine, a copy of the Lord of the Rings that I'd had since 1983. And I noticed that just a few days ago. It had come away from the spine, but it's been reattached now. Anyway, I got up to the end of the Spanish Grand Prix in my last video. So I'm going to find where it is. I'm also quite happy to see that none of the pages are actually stuck together with super glue. That accident didn't happen. This Brazilian Grand Prix. Spanish Grand Prix. And we are getting close to the San Marino Grand Prix. I can't actually remember anything about that race in 1986. Maybe I should have reread this book before doing the video, but I can't remember anything specifically about this race. I can't even remember who won it, and I'm normally quite good with that sort of thing, that sort of history of Formula One. Maybe the good pictures there. Nelson Piquet, Ayrton Senna. Once again, the beautiful McLaren. I absolutely love that car. And I hate that one. And that one. The Lola and the Zack Speed. Fortunately, they were always right at the back of the field, a few laps down, so no one took any notice of that. There's super glue there. That's Alain Prost and Keke Rosberg, side by side. Of course, for anyone who doesn't know, Keke Rosberg and his son Nico Rosberg are one of only two father-son world champion pairings. Keke Rosberg winning the championship in 1982 and his son Nico Rosberg winning it in 2016. The other pairing being Graham Hill, the English driver who won the championship in 62 and 68, and his son Damon Hill who won it in 96. Keke Rosberg was Finnish. His son's mother, though, is German, and Nico Rosberg was brought up in Germany, so he has always raced under the German flag. So who won that race? Alain Prost won it. Okay, Piquet was second. Nigel Mansell retired, engine failure after 8 laps. What a surprise. Monaco Grand Prix. Now, who won this? I'm sort of thinking Senna. He won the 1987 one after Mansell had car problems. Mansell came 5th in the 1987 Monaco Grand Prix. Oh, it's Prost. Prost again. With his teammate, it was a 1-2 for McLaren. I do need to read this book again, don't I? Or at least watch all the races again or something. Senna was 3rd. Mansell was 4th. I rushed through these pages quickly. So are there any interesting ones in here? Doesn't look good. Is that Johnny Dumfries? I think he was Senna's teammate that year. In 1986 and 1987, no one really remembers who Senna's teammate was because they were always at the back of the field, with Senna at the front of the field. In 1987, it was Satoru Nakajima. That's shows the tightness of the circuit. I do a bit of racing on the computer in a Formula 1 game, and it's harum-scarum stuff. You daren't blink, otherwise you'll be in the wall at Monaco. And occasionally I have done races without pausing the game at all, so I've literally raced for like an hour and 40 minutes without blinking. Getting my wife to spray water on my eyeballs as I'm playing, because I can't use my eyelids. So here we are. No, I see. Belgian Grand Prix. This was the start of Nigel Mansell's reign, his glory run, where he won 4 out of 5 races. I think in 1987 he did exactly the same thing. It was sort of like in the middle part of the season. Win, 5th, win. I think he did the same thing in 1986. Anyway, Belgian Grand Prix. Nigel Mansell in his career went on to win 31 races. A bit short of Lewis Hamilton's record-breaking 95 at the moment. But still in the top 10 of all time. But this would have been his 3rd Grand Prix victory, having won in 1985 the European Grand Prix of Brands Hatch in England. There was already a British Grand Prix, so it was called the European Grand Prix. And the, what was it? South African Grand Prix, I think. I think it was the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch, followed by the South African Grand Prix. 2 on the trot, he won, 1985. This one, I think, was a fairly straightforward race for Nigel. His car didn't retire, so therefore he won. Riccardo Patrese. Car there, very ugly cars. And the arrows. It was a year when there were lots of ugly Formula 1 cars. The McLaren really stood out. Even the Williams wasn't particularly, even Mansell's Williams wasn't particularly attractive. But the amazing thing about this year was the racing. The racing was fantastic. So many drivers in with a shout at the championship, right towards the closing stages. But yes, he won comfortably from Ayrton Senna. Won by about 20 seconds. Prost only came 6th. Piquet retired. He had car failure. That was unheard of the following year in 1987. Piquet having car failure. Canadian Grand Prix. This was another win by Nigel Mansell. Apparently here before the race, Nigel Mansell was asked if he was worried about the 2 Brazilians behind him on the grid. He was on pole, Nelson Piquet and Ayrton Senna. And Nigel's reply was apparently, "What Brazilians?" I'm not aware of any Brazilian threat. There's beautiful shots. You see these cars here look nice. Attractive colours. Somewhat attractive to look at. Obviously the McLarens. I keep going on about the McLarens. But these back here, stay out of the way. Because they're not very attractive at all. Oh, that's charming, look. Who's that? Is that Michele Alboreto? Or is it Stefan Johansson? Stefan Johansson, that's Michele Alboreto. Another win for Mansell. Prost 2nd again. Piquet 3rd. 20 seconds again. Mansell beat Prost by. Detroit. Now this is where Senna always used to do so well. Well, in 1986 and 1987, anyway. He was always very good at the tight, twisty circuits. And I believe he won this race. Certainly Piquet didn't. Nigel Mansell, I don't know what happened to him. Find out in a minute when we look at the rundown of where everyone finished. Nice shot of Prost overtaking Johansson's Ferrari. Look at that car. I don't even recognise that car. That's awful, isn't it? Alan Berg. God dear, what an ugly car. The Osella. Now, obviously, the Americans have never. There are plenty of American Formula One fans, but nothing compared to other forms of motorsport. But there have been a lot of races in America. In actual fact, there were, in 1983, I believe, there were actually 3 Grand Prix in America. USA Grand Prix, USA West and USA East. Now, that was the only time that had ever happened in Formula One until last year, 2020, when due to COVID, some countries did more than one race. And I'm pretty sure there were 3 Italian Grand Prix last year. I mean, only one was called the Italian Grand Prix, but there were 3 Grand Prix in Italy. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think there were 3 in Italy last year. And this was, yes, a win for Senna. Quite a dominant win. Jacques Lafitte in the Ligier in second place. What was going on there? And Prost in third. Alboreto, Mansell. Yeah, you see, he's 5th. I'm sure he was first, 5th, first in these 5 races in the middle of the season. And in the following year, in 1987, I think he was first, 5th, first as well, in the same sort of spell. Some of them being the same races as well, like the Detroit Grand Prix. He was 5th in 1987 as well, and the French and British Grand Prix, won them both in 87, just as he did in 86. It's quite interesting. Points only down to 6th place in Formula One back then. Now it's down 10 places. Detroit, of course, as Americans well know, is considered the home of the automobile, basically, isn't it? It's a famous, historic car-making city. I'd like to go there. I have been to America, but the sort of fairly standard places that all British people go to. Florida, California, Nevada for Las Vegas. I'd like to go to Detroit. It's a nice photo. I think I'll end this video now. We're up to the French Grand Prix. How many did we do? We did San Marino, Monaco. Then there was Belgium, Canada, Detroit. And I did 2 the other day, so we've done 7. 7 of the 16 races at the moment. I'll probably do maybe another couple more vids to cover the rest. But yeah, next one, French Grand Prix. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and listening.